You're listening to KOUG Radio. Listen live online at KOUGradio.org.
Welcome to a very special episode of Earworm, episode 9.
Tasty treats.
We are doing this one live, so call in with questions. Don't do that.
I don't know how'd we get that.
We had a slight issue over the break. The previous episode of the same topic was not saved, so we're making up for lost time.
Yeah.
And we're doing it live.
Yeah, we thought we'd just record the same episode. You know, no one really heard the last topic.
It was a banger.
I thought it was a good.
I mourned when she died.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot to talk about with this, especially with this topic.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think we'll really go over other than the main points that we want to talk about.
Yeah. There were a couple things last time where I was like, oh, I wish I brought that up, but now I will.
It's so funny. I feel like walking around, I definitely have thoughts of, oh, I should talk about this, or I should ask this to Chloe on Earworm. But then as soon as it comes up, I'm like,
I forgore.
I'm like, oh, what's going on now? Bug.
You said you had one earlier of
You remember the context?
No.
Oh,
no.
It was
we were just going into the class we were just in. And you said you had, I don't know if you said it was a hypothetical or not.
Oh, I remember saying that, but I don't remember the hypothetical.
Oh well.
Okay, I do remember.
Remembers.
I do remember it. So if you had to choose, okay, and I've asked Hillary this question before,
okay,
and she gave me an answer that I should have expected.
Unsatisfactory answer?
No, it was just not, not as crazy as
right.
and I want to hear your reason why you choose the answer as well.
Okay, hit me.
So you get to choose between a mole person, a water person, or a bird person.
Uh-huh.
Like a mole, fish, or bird person.
Yeah.
And you get to become one of them. Which one are you choosing and why?
Bird person so I can fly around. Period.
That's it?
Yeah.
You don't want to
I don't want to dig in the dirt. I do that enough anyways with my regular people hands.
Yeah, but
I don't need mole hands to do that.
You're really good at it now. You can
I'm going to lose my vision.
Yeah?
Yeah. Moles can't see.
Oh, I guess I didn't really think about that. I was thinking more like the benefit, like their cool traits.
Oh, so you get like their claws and their cool nose, but you keep your human eyes.
Yeah, and you can tunnel and stuff.
I mean, that's cool. I don't know. I'd rather be a bird person so I can fly around.
I don't know why. Whenever I ask that type of question, I feel like I would expect more variety in people's response, but I guess everyone just wants to be a bird.
Everyone wants to fly, dude.
Yeah.
Me and Isaac were talking about superpowers the other day, and it was like, what would
superpowers are such a good topic of conversation.
So I'm gonna say his, and you're gonna like immediately be like, yep, makes sense.
Okay, I'm ready to hear it. Let's hear it.
Super speed.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
I mean, I'd agree with that.
Like, that's real.
I think that's like one of my go-tos as well.
That's a good one. It's so much, everyone says flying. That's so out.
You just said flying for my mole person question.
Well, okay, out of 3 random options, out of any power in the entire world, that's not what I would choose.
All right. I actually asked this to Hillary like 2 days ago. Okay, you can choose between one of 3 powers. You can either fly, you can turn invisible, or you have telepathy.
Telepathy as in reading minds, and not telekinesis as in moving stuff.
I'm not gonna tell you because it might influence.
I feel like
it's like not good or bad. It's just which one. Like you don't know much in detail about what it has, but
you said flight, invisibility, or telepathy. I would probably pick telepathy because I'm always worried about what people are thinking about me.
Really?
Yeah.
You wouldn't do like.
To be invisible, do I have to get naked? Be honest.
What? Okay, so let's say it's like the worst of all 3. So it's like to be invisible, you have to be totally naked.
Yeah. To fly, you have to like take a big poop so that you're light enough to fly.
I was thinking it's like it feels like running.
Oh, it's like really tiring.
Yeah, either that or it's just you get cold if you go up, and you're cold because you go fast. But then for telepathy, you
can't
can
turn
only
it off.
you can't turn it off.
Oh.
So it's like if people are just, and it's always what their immediate thought is. It's not any deeper.
If that was the case, I would pick flying.
Really?
I just wear a jacket.
I was gonna say you'd really sweaty though.
Yeah, but so take the jacket off.
That would be so. If it's only as fast as you can run, you would be going pretty slow.
Yeah,
so
that's
people
true.
are just gonna see you like moseying across the sky.
That's okay. Let's get
Yeah,
on topic. I was
yeah.
gonna say back on topic. We have not started the topic.
Yeah, so the topic is tasty treats,
Mm-hmm.
and it's because we eat a lot,
As humans.
as humans, and we don't always think about what we eat. And I'm not going to get too political about what it is because some things are bad, some things are good, but let's talk about things that you don't think about eating.
Sorry, what?
Yeah, I don't know. I was trying to make it sound
really
like really
trailed
cool.
off there.
Yeah, things you don't think about eating, like other animals that you wouldn't typically eat.
Right. No chicken, no pig, no beef,
Mm-hmm.
no fish,
Pork.
pork. That's pig, dude. I said pig.
Oh, sorry, I totally zoned out. I was not paying attention to
Yeah,
what you were
clearly
saying.
you were not.
But the first one that I want to talk about, I feel like lately it's become kind of a bigger thing. And they talked about it on the Joe Rogan podcast,
Yeah.
which I guess, take it with a grain of salt on how much you trust what they say.
Yeah.
But it's bear. And people do hunt bear. And
Do people normally hunt black bear or brown or grizzly or?
I think it just depends on your area.
I thought it was mostly grizzly.
because we
bear.
mainly have
black bears.
black bears around here. And so whenever you talk to someone about hunting bear, they're always talking about black bear. But I'm assuming if you went up to Alaska, they'd be talking about hunting grizzly.
Yeah, probably, or Montana.
Yeah. But the thing about hunting bears is that people don't always do it for the meat because the meat is kind of
Gamey.
gamey.
I see people describe gamey. I don't know what that means. Like I've never had anything that people describe as gamey, I don't think. So I don't know how to like put that in tangible. Like when people say something tastes of like umami flavor, I'm like, "Oh, yeah." No idea what they're
I have
talking
no
about.
idea what umami flavor is.
Ooh, mommy.
Yeah. Anyway, back to gamey.
I don't know I don't anyways.
Yeah, I know what you mean because like I can kind of I've tasted something that's really gamey and it's more of like it leaves a weird hue in your mouth and it can be a little more tough to chew, like harder to eat just because I don't know. It's not like rough,
Right.
but it's just it doesn't taste as good as other meat. Like it's not as tender
Mhm.
and it kind of has like a weird like after flavor to it or while you're chewing it, I guess people probably aren't gonna like this, but it's like imagine if you eat a berry and it looks like a good imagine a blueberry and you bite
Yeah.
into it and you're like, oh, that was a good, but like part of it was rotten.
It's like, "Oh,
It's like, oh, there's a little kick in there. That berry
Yeah.
wasn't necessarily ripe. But people don't like not black bear. People don't like bear typically because it's a little gamier. I mean, you can still make it for like sausage or other types of sausage patty. No, you don't make patties with it. Like salami, you can make that. People use the fat for a lot of things,
Right.
like a lot of cooking things.
you said pelt already?" Did you
Yeah,
say pelt?
people like to
Yeah.
stuff them or skin them.
Taxidermy.
Taxidermy.
I
yeah.
love taxidermy.
Yeah,
I don't
you've
know if
talked
we've
about that a
delved into
lot.
it too much here, but
Yeah, I mean, what would be like the ideal taxidermy thing for you? Like if you could choose any animal with taxidermy.
ooh. I mean, it's kind of boring, but like a really big like snake or like a full-size crocodile. Like 9-foot saltwater crocodile in my living room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do they put in taxidermy?
Foam bases or wood bases, depending.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
I don't know why. I always
The
thought
animal's
of it.
not in there, bud.
I thought it was like a stuffed animal.
Like only stuffing.
Yeah, like it was just really, really.
No,
thick
they have
stuffing.
like there's a term for it, but it's like a base that you put. It's in the shape of the animal already, and then you can carve the base because it's foam. You
Oh.
can make it shape. It's like hard. It's not like squishy foam.
So it's kind of like a frame.
yeah, and then you glue the tan side of the skin to it, and then you sew it up. And you can use little bits of clay to shape the eyes and make little ripples of muscle where you want them. It's really cool. Like it's art, straight up.
Straight up. The art.
I love taxidermy.
Yeah.
It's hard on reptiles because the stitches are easier to see in between the scales, but like with animals, you can stitch under the fur, and so if you just brush over it, you can't see the stitches anymore.
That makes sense.
That's why human taxidermy isn't big.
Because you could see it really easily.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That and other reasons.
Yeah, it's a little weird. Just make a clay model or
Yep.
something. Oh, something just shifted in the next room over.
The bear heard us
The
talking
bear.
about
He's
him.
This guy's gonna stuff me. Anyway, back to bear. There is apparently a type of bear though that is very sought after, and it's in a very specific part of Alaska that people hunt for it. And the reason that people like it so much is because this bear eats exclusively like blackberries and cranberries.
Mm.
And so what it does is it tints the meat into like kind of a more reddish purple
Love it.
instead of just red, and it gives it like a really sweet taste as well.
You know how when humans eat too much orange stuff, like too many carrots, too much tangerine, they turn orange?
Yeah.
Do you think their meat tastes orange?
I don't.
You don't want to think about that?
Well, I don't know. Like orange? Do you mean
The flavor.
Oh, the
Do you think it
orange?
tastes like an orange or like fruit notes, sweetness?
What, like you feed a cow a bunch of carrots and then you cook it and eat it and you're like,
No, I'm talking about people,
tastes
dude.
tastes like a carrot. It's no meat.
Carrots.
But I don't know. Maybe that's not really like on the top of the mind when I'm eating something.
I think we talked about this when the previous one got deleted, but like if you could ethically consume human flesh, would you?
Oh,
we had brought that up.
This is a really good conversation piece because I have a friend who asked me that question, and he was saying if I had my foot cut off, because there was that guy
on Reddit who made the foot fajitas.
Yeah,
the fajitas, if you will.
The fajitas. Yeah, and his friends didn't want it.
They said it tasted good, but they could not stomach the fact that it was human meat.
Yeah, and so I told him that if he did that, I don't think I would eat it, but if he cooked it and then fed it to me, and then like maybe a couple hours later told me, I'd be like, oh,
you got me.
You got me. Like that's
funny prank.
Funny prank. It was good.
That?
I'd be like,
like
that was you prepared it so well.
That movie, The Menu.
I've never heard of it.
Wasn't that the one where they put humans in the food? That might be a spoiler. Sorry. Hope none of you guys have seen The Menu. I haven't seen it.
What are you talking about? How old is this movie?
It's recent.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 2022.
Oh, yeah. There's like someone who's listening who's dying to watch that movie. They're just waiting for the right time.
Meat. I'm just Googling it.
But anyway, yeah, bear, not very good. Blueberry bear.
I was super wrong.
Pretty good.
There's no human meat in the food, in the menu. Anyways.
You just got everyone really hyped up for that.
Yeah.
For no reason.
Whoopsies.
I can't believe you did that. But if you had to prepare bear, how would you do it?
Smoke
Yeah?
for a long time, or like
You make it like jerky.
my uncle has, I don't remember what it's called. It's like a very special cooker thing. It's not a smoker.
smoker?
It's not a smoker. It's something else that he like. It's outside and he cooks on it. It's not a grill. Don't know what it is. He makes turkey on it
Like
for
a
Thanksgiving.
campfire.
No, I don't normally.
Is it a pressure cooker?
No, it has a weird name. It's like something weird.
You got to give me more than like. What does it look like?
I have never seen it.
You've never seen it? It's probably a smoker.
It's not a smoker. He did it. Traeger. It's a Traeger.
Oh, isn't a Traeger just a type of smoker?
Maybe. No, it's a smoker with super smoke mode.
I hate you. That is like
yeah, it's a Traeger.
That's
So he cooks turkey on the Traeger. Oh,
Yeah.
dude, I'm not a big turkey fan. Like, I'll eat it and it's fine. It's really good as lunch meat, but like if
Yeah.
I had to choose between like rotisserie chicken or rotisserie turkey, I'm taking the chicken, you know?
yeah. Well, turkey dries out really quickly.
Yeah, but when he Traeger cooks this turkey, dude, melt in your mouth. It's so good. So I would Traeger up the bear.
Yeah. Just stuff the whole thing in there.
Be so. It just starts like you close the door and it like pops open a little bit.
That'd be so funny. You leave it in there and he comes out. He's like, "Who's using my Traeger?" He opens it up and there's just a bear.
Or like he comes out and the Traeger's empty and it's like, where'd the bear go?
Where'd the bear go? He got up and ran away. Oh, no.
Man.
But
What
yeah,
about you? Would you grill, cook, smoke?
I think I would make it into, oh, what is it? Like sausage?
Ooh.
Or
yeah, sausage
what is it
a
called?
good. Yeah. No, you're right.
Is it? Is that sausage?
Or like salami.
Salami. Yeah, like salami sticks.
Ooh, girl.
That would be really good.
Beef stick. Sort.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
Well, sausage is like the preferred medium for gamey meats, I think, right? Because you get like elk sausage and like.
Well, I mean, no, elk is, I don't really know if elk is considered naturally gamey by the I don't know, consumer community of elk.
I don't know.
But elk is really good by itself if you make it into like
I've had an elk
burgers,
burger
or if you have
before,
like steak,
dude.
like elk steak is really good.
Elk burger is good. I'm hungry. We did this last time, and I was so hungry the whole time, and I'm hungry again.
It's because we're talking about food.
I
We're talking about
know.
eating stuff.
I know. I was like,
But no, a lot
kill
of
for
things.
that elk
I feel like there's a
burger
lot of
again.
things that people don't really think about when it comes to food, like sausage or
Mhm.
like jerky and stuff. People see it and they're like, "Oh, cow," but then they don't think like that could be something totally different.
yeah,
I think it's especially with like beef, not beef jerky, but like sausage
right.
and stuff. It's a lot of other things get mixed in there, like a lot of spices and
Oof.
yeah. Well, I don't know about that. But a lot of other things get mixed in there,
Right.
and so you're not tasting the meat as direct.
Right. You're tasting the meat plus the other stuff that they shoved in the intestinal lining.
Yeah.
Which is what sausage casing is.
Gotta love it.
Sausage. Have you seen the picture of Gordon Ramsay where his face is funny and he says sausage?
No.
I'm pulling it up.
I
You
just
gotta
know-
see this.
There was that meme that came up a while ago that was just like sausage. Do you remember that?
No, I
Oh.
don't know. Oh, this is a fridge magnet. I should buy this for you for Christmas.
Oh, that'd be so nice.
Here,
Let me see.
this is a sausage.
Yeah. Yes. No.
I knew you knew it.
What a funny guy. But let's get back into the different types of meat.
Right.
I have a few different animals here that are not like considered traditional,
Uh-huh.
and I want you to tell me if you would eat them or not. If
The
you had
answer
the
is
chance to.
probably going to be yes for all of them. I would eat pretty much anything.
Really?
Yeah.
I have a few added here.
Well, I would try pretty much everything.
That's fair. I think a lot of people would. I think a lot of them. I think the only thing that it would come down to is if it was considered like a pet.
Well,
lot of
I'd
people.
still try it.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Like your cat passes away and
No,
someone's
I'm
like,
not gonna not my
"Mm."
cat. If someone is like, this was a farmed
This is a farmed cat.
yeah, not free range. What's the other word? Like
Like cage.
no, cage fed.
This is a cage fed cat.
No, it's like a livestock
Pasture?
cat.
Livestock
Like it's
cat.
farmed.
Like then you would eat it?
Yeah.
Even if it was just, it looked exactly like a house cat.
Well, they're not gonna serve it to me at a restaurant looking like a house cat.
They give you the meal and then they give you a little picture of the cat and they're like, this is what you're eating.
That's no, I wouldn't eat it then. If it was just the meat by itself, I would try it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you have the same with like if someone gave you a piece of beef jerky and you were like, oh, that's really good. And they were like, that was my house cat. It died last week and I cooked it.
I feel like, why did you do that, dude? What is wrong with you? I was trying to cremate him and then he started smelling really
It
good.
smelled really good. So I pulled him out and I had some pepper and some salt.
That is awful. That is horrible.
Anyway, okay, all right. First one on the list, giraffe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just a big horse or cow situation.
Would you feel good about eating like a horse normally?
I would eat it. Yeah.
Yeah?
I'd eat a horse steak or
Wh-
whatever.
What if you'd ridden the horse? Like you knew it personally.
If I knew him, I probably
Yeah.
wouldn't. That's
No?
the thing is like if I know it, like that's why I could never be a farmer. Because if like I know the animals,
Mhm.
I'll cry. That's why I
Okay.
don't breed my own rodents to feed my snakes. Is because if I like grow an attachment to the rats or mice or whatever, and then have to kill all their babies, like I'll cry.
Oh, it'd be kind of you'd have to like turn that switch in your head,
I know.
and that'd be a little tough to do.
Not for me.
Especially with like mice, if you were feeding them to your snake.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a little trouble.
I also
can see
don't
that.
feed live though, so.
I was at the dog park actually the other day, and there's like this huge tree that goes
Mhm.
right next to it, and I kept on hearing this rustling, and I thought it was a squirrel.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of stood and looked at it for like 5 minutes, and then I started seeing there are these it's covered in ivy, and every
Mhm.
now and then on one of the ivy branches that were sticking out, I'd see a little mouse run
Aw.
out and like run around.
That's cute.
And every time I go back there now, I can.
And then
see
you
the
grabbed it
mice.
and went,
Yeah, I just snatched him up.
Little
What if you were
smack.
what if you were on like a safari and you saw a giraffe and he was like, "Oh, look it," and you were like, "Wow, that's really cool." And then you went to a restaurant later and they like this. You see the safari guy there like cooking,
it's like, oh no.
and he smiles at you and he's nodding, and he points the giraffe and points
no,
at
no,
you.
no. Why are all your questions about like, would you eat this? Yes.
Well, I'm
what if you knew him? Why is that your only argument?
Because it's the only thing that people would say
The
no
answer's gonna
to.
be yes, and then if I know him, the answer's gonna be no.
Yeah. Oh. What others? So speaking of giraffe, there's a celebrity chef named Hugh Fernley Whittingstall.
Don't know that guy.
But he said giraffe meat is a little sweeter
Ooh.
than normal meat, and it could be a little better than most venison or beef, depending on your preferred taste.
I would eat the crap out of a giraffe burger.
Yeah?
That sounds... Maybe I'm just really hungry right now. That sounds so good. Don't kill giraffes, though.
No, don't just go to the zoo and just start killing all the giraffes.
Hey,
I heard it's sweet.
Can I order this one to go, please?
All right, the next one. The Galapagos turtle.
Yeah.
Yeah?
It is hitting a little closer to home since it is a reptile, but...
Oh, is that what you think you'd have most trouble eating?
Yeah, because I have the most connection with them, because I own reptiles.
You're part reptile, that's right.
Apparently.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You go brewmate?
I brewmate. No.
Stick me in the freezer, I'm ready to hibernate.
Yeah, dude. No.
Yeah, really, Galapagos turtle?
Well, their faces are really, like, cute.
That's true. Turtle soup, though.
I've never had turtle soup.
Pretty good. Apparently, Charles Darwin had one. And
yeah, he did.
He like wrote about it in his journal, and he said that the breastplate is really good. Which, out of the whole turtle, I would not expect to eat the breastplate.
The crunchy part, or like the meat from the breastplate?
I think the meat from.
Because you say breastplate, and I imagine him just like.
He just pulls it off the turtle and starts chomping.
Yeah, a lot of calcium in there. Woo!
All right, the next one might be a little more controversial.
Yeah, you got it, bud.
Thanks. Gorilla.
Now we're running into problems because I'm scared of primates.
Monkey. You don't have to like hunt it yourself. Like
I would be scared still. I feel like the gorilla's
they
family
serve you
would
a fist and it just
punches me. I start eating it and it chokes me and I'm like, that gorilla.
It got me.
I feel like the gorilla's family would come after me. Like they would know. I'd go
hunt
to
you
the
down.
zoo and like by chance.
All of them are just looking at you.
Yeah, it's like that gorilla's family and somehow they can smell his enzymes in my stomach and they're like, that's the one.
That's
and then they
one.
just break out and rip me limb from limb. keep
They
me
ate
alive.
Frank.
What?
They ate Frank.
Who?
You.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, that's the gorilla's family talking about
and that's
you.
the gorilla's name is Frank.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you ate him. He was a house pet.
To the other gorillas? Whoa.
Anyway, so apparently gorillas actually like pretty common in certain parts of Africa. And do you remember what it's called?
Bushmeat.
Bushmeat, that's right.
It took me a minute.
But apparently it's like really if you prepare it right, it can be really rich and taste a little like veal.
So if you call it gorilla, like gorilla steak, I'm gonna be a little off put. But if you say this a bush meat, I'm gonna eat it all.
Yeah.
Compliments to the chef. You
Really?
know? Yeah.
So if you didn't know what it was, that goes back to my foot thing.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
That's
if I didn't know
fair.
what I was eating and then someone told me, I'd be like,
well,
okay.
I'd still eat it. If they said this is a gorilla steak, I'd still eat it and probably like it. But if they say like this is the finest bush meat we have, I'd be like, sign me up. I don't know why.
Oh no. You go to some never mind. I won't continue that joke. It's
Later.
Yeah. But anyway, the next one. Probably a little easier to decide because it's kind of like a cow, kind of like a big water cow. Hippopotamus. That's right. Yeah.
Blubber. You got to get all that out of there. Apparently blubber, you can eat parts of it like raw and it's like a thing that people do and it's good.
Well, I mean, blubber had a lot of uses.
Yeah, it did.
Like throughout,
Do hippos have blubber or are they just chunky?
I'm pretty sure they're like solid muscle.
I'm so scared of hippos.
Well, yeah, don't hippos kill like
they kill so many people.
They kill a lot of people.
They do have blubber.
Oh,
Their
they
skin
do?
also oozes a pink slime.
That just adds to the flavor. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's the sauce,
That's
baby.
the sauce.
That's the pink sauce everybody been talking about.
They wring them out before they start cooking.
Oh, awful.
It's like tenderizing the meat. Anyway, you'd eat a hippo? I think I would too.
Yeah.
The coolest thing that I found when looking this up was apparently it's marbled like venison.
Ooh.
And I don't think it was white, but the way they were talking about it, it sounded like the meat was white. And that would be really cool.
I'm Googling hippo meat.
Let's tell me what you see. Any white meat?
It looks like regular meat.
That's a little disappointing.
There's a lot of hey, everyone out there, do not Google hippo meat because, wow. Wow.
You got me curious now. I want to look it up.
There's a lot of just like straight up, just like guts flying, like jaws ripped apart, like
Did you just go to
decapitated
images?
hippos. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're kind of right.
Yeah.
If you could have a big hippo head on your wall, would you?
If I could have just the skull, yeah.
You wouldn't want like the taxidermied hippo head?
No.
Why not?
When you get to a smooth skin like that, it's another one that's like really hard to get
Well,
right.
let's say that like you knew the guy and you knew
It's
he
the
could,
best
he could
one
do it
ever.
really well. Yeah. Would you
I
want to do it?
mean, yeah. Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool. The
Yeah.
hippos. Do you know? I mean, hippos just don't look like they belong in the water.
Well, they actually can't swim.
No, they just kind of like
They
sink
walk
and
on
then-
the bottom.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
they just bounce around.
So funny.
They're really goofy. But no, I don't like how dexterous they are in the water, even though they look like they should have no purpose being in the water. It's like how not elk. It's like how moose can swim.
Oh yeah, it's like what? What
Yeah.
are you doing in there,
It's like
bud?
you should not be in that environment, but yet
They
here you are.
excel. Do you think if a moose was in the water with a shark, the moose could beat the shark?
I don't think the shark could eat the moose.
No?
Well, maybe he could like get a leg,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I don't think the shark would try. I think it's too big.
What about a big shark? Great white shark. That could theoretically could happen on our coast. A great white meeting a moose.
Well, don't orcas? Orcas
Oh,
eat moose.
Yeah, they do.
Moose, mice,
Moose. Meese.
meese.
Mooses.
Yeah, mooses, moosei. Yeah, they eat them.
Yeah.
There was like a little comic that someone made about that. They were like, "Can you imagine diving and then you
Oh yeah,
you
yeah,
see
yeah,
a moose
yeah.
and then an orca comes and eats the moose?"
That's right.
I
I
would.
totally forgot about that.
I think I'd just give up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just like float to the surface and kind of
Take me.
see if anything happens on my way up.
Yeah.
But yeah, hippo,
I'd eat it.
marbled like venison
Mm-hmm.
and tastes somewhat like something between lamb and beef.
Oh, I
Which-
love lamb.
I don't know about you, but that sounds so good.
I love lamb.
It sounds
Put me on a
amazing.
shawarma, on a gyro. Oh, I love lamb. It's so good.
We had gyros the other day.
We
It
did.
was so good.
They were so good.
They were really good, but I think that because they were kind of getting low on their
They
supplies,
skimped us on the meat a little
dude,
bit.
they skimped on the meat.
It was so good though.
It was like, okay, here's your pita bread. Is it pita or is
Yeah.
it a different type?
Here's your pita bread and
Yeah.
iceberg lettuce.
Here's your mountain of iceberg lettuce. We're also gonna put like
a little bit of
quart of
sauce.
sauce
Yeah,
on there.
sauce.
and then
3 slices
like
of meat.
3 tiny slices of meat.
It was so good though.
It was, I mean, yeah, just because you knew what it was supposed to be like. I mean, it was good and it was free, so that makes it
Yeah,
the
I'm
best.
not free for the cost of tuition. Whenever free stuff gets handed out on campus, I'm always like, oh, free stuff. And then I'm like, well, I am paying like thousands of dollars to be here. So
Yeah, well, you know.
sucks to suck, I
you
guess.
get some, you lose some.
It's a free keychain. Yippee!
Yeah, we gotta do a bunch of little games.
Yeah, there was a carnival, a harvest festival.
Harvest
Didn't have any
festival.
food.
No, they didn't.
They had drinks and they had, well, I guess they had the gyros.
Man,
but-
I was expecting it to be like the Stardew Valley Harvest Festival. You have all the people with their vegetables out.
Oh, I want. Whoa.
Oh, I see. Maybe
There was a guy
not.
doing magic, and we literally sat there for like 15 or more minutes just watching him do magic. He was,
was-
so good.
It was good, but like it was a little hard to stand next to you sometimes.
Yeah, yeah.
He would do something, and it wouldn't even be like the final reveal of the trick, and you look at me like, oh.
I love magic.
know.
I love
It's just-
magic.
It's like every time I looked over at you.
Or just mouth open, like, oh.
Yeah, he let you be a part of one of the acts. He gave you the book to just
Yeah.
hold, and we were joking like, what if he just left you alone?
He didn't take the book. It wasn't part of the joke or the
No.
trick.
He just
He
wanted
just
you to stop like moving around so much.
Yeah. Hey, he was great though. Don't remember his name.
Oh, it was, yeah.
He was great.
God, I feel like it was a really like kind of
It was
common
like
name.
Steve or something.
Yeah, he was a fun magician though.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Food.
back to food. So you said you'd have a harder time with reptiles. Let's get into that a little bit.
I'd eat the heck out of a crocodile though.
I wasn't gonna say crocodile. I feel
Okay,
like
well.
most people would say they would try crocodile if they could.
Yeah.
I was gonna say iguana.
I'd eat iguana.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get big enough to where I'm like, there's substantial.
You don't like see them as a reptile anymore once they get large enough. You're like, that's
No,
basically
I see them as a
small-
reptile still. They just get closer to alligator size, and I'm like, when you have a creature that becomes
No, they
big,
do not.
not that big, but the bigger you get, the closer to alligator you become. Period. That's just the way it is.
Across the reptile board.
Yeah.
Every reptile wants to be the alligator.
Yeah.
Or crocodile.
Well, they've been living on this planet for like ever.
Yeah.
Anyways.
They're kind of cool guys.
Yeah, when you get something that's got significant meat on it, like people eat snake, I'm like, I get it, but snake are all muscle. Like there's no room for white or dark meat. There's no room
Like
for
fat.
marbling. There's no room for fat. But like iguana definitely has some chunk. And
Well,
the
'cause
tail,
it has to like build up that layer
yeah.
for itself.
So iguana definitely.
Yeah. Man, I remember when I was little and I heard about, I mean, not heard about, but like I would think about like crocodiles and alligators
Yeah.
and going into the water with them. I was always like, oh man, they know exactly where I am. If I was in the water, they would just like pick me out basically.
Right.
You know, it would basically be me racing to get out of the water before they could get
Like
to me.
when you go in the building in Lethal Company and the red guy is there.
Yeah, exactly.
We've been playing
like
so
that.
much Lethal Company.
But now, you know, they have TV shows and it's just like people, they like swim into a river with a crocodile looking for it and then they just like grab it and pick it up.
Yeah, they like shove the camera in its face and like poke its butt and then it just swims away.
It's like crocodiles have probably been feared for thousands of years.
They're kind of unbothered.
And then and then you get to like the 21st century and you have people like woo woo
I know,
like, the camera right in front of them.
They're kind of chill. They really are.
Yeah.
They just don't want to be bothered and they want to be fed.
Yeah, I mean,
Me too, honestly.
they're kind of living the life.
Call me a crocodile because
I'm unbothered and just
want to be fed.
yeah.
Yeah.
I remember there was also on the Discovery Channel, they had there's like a crocodile versus a shark,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty sure that the shark won in the end. But when I watched that originally, I was like, this is so rigged.
Yeah.
I
Oh, yeah.
was like, this is so. There's no way a shark could beat a crocodile.
I agree with you because the crocodile, their osteoderms are bone.
yeah.
The plates on their back and through their tail, that's bone, dude. Like they're basically a turtle with a couple extra layers.
I know. Well, the only thing is that I don't think they didn't have them fight because that would have been inhumane and they probably would have gotten in trouble.
But they were
It was like a
pontificating.
simulation.
Yes.
Yeah, and
yes.
it made me so mad because it was for a while it was like, oh, it's a battle between two titans.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, it's so close, and then it was like, oh, the crocodile has to go up to get a breath, and then it like
No,
went to
it
the
doesn't.
surface, and then the shark just grabbed it from underneath.
No, it doesn't. Crocodiles can hold their breath for hours.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's BS.
That was just kind of a little tangent of mine.
That's so lame.
That made me so mad as a kid. That was
Crocodile would win for sure.
that was probably like one of the first times I was like, I don't
Something's fishy
I don't
about
think
this.
everything on television is true. They lied to me.
Did you
know
ever
more.
watch River Monsters? I know that we've talked about Forge
Yes,
Labs before, but
yeah.
River Monsters was my childhood, dude. I watched so much River Monsters. Shouldn't have been. Very violent.
Yeah.
But,
Well, I mean,
you know,
yeah.
loved it.
I didn't really watch River. I mean, I watched River Monsters, but I watched more of like the most extreme.
Oh,
or
yeah.
I Shouldn't Be Alive.
Yeah.
Those types of stuff. I always love those. Then I feel like they took the most extreme and they took the worst things about it and started running with it for other shows like Monsters
Yeah.
Inside Me and stuff.
Yeah.
Like those were just no one wants
Just a
to
bummer.
see that. It was like, oh, this guy ate a hamburger and got like a freaking parasite from Africa.
Yeah.
Now he's dead. It's like, well,
Oh,
now
that sucks.
that made me just not want to eat lunch today. Like
Yeah.
I didn't, but if I was like, oh, I just watched a guy almost get killed by a giraffe.
It was like, whoa.
You're like, whoa, that was pretty sweet.
I've fallen down a rabbit hole on TikTok where there's just like random videos pulled from who knows where, and they're
Yeah.
compilations of animals like fighting and like eating each other, and it's like really violent. And I just kind
That's
of
on TikTok.
yeah, I just kind of watch because
You're just kind of like, whoa, that's so neat.
it's like that's metal, dude.
That's pretty metal.
Like deers walking around with other decapitated deer heads stuck to their antlers. You ever seen that?
Oh yeah.
So cool.
You gotta wonder how they got in that situation. Like
They
that
were
would
fighting,
suck. That
and
would
then
suck for
one ripped
both of
its other
them.
head off.
No, that would suck for both of them though, because for one, the one who got his head ripped off, he's dead. He lost the fight. He can't mate. He can't live.
He sucks.
He can't eat. He sucks. But the one who won, he's like,
Now he's got.
this guy's haunting me for the
Yeah.
rest of my life.
He thinks it's a ghost. It's like, oh, someone takes it off one day, and he's like, oh, the curse is lifted.
I love thinking about like really old times And because now, I mean, a lot of the times we have like an explanation for something if it happens.
Right.
But can you imagine if something like that happened back then? They're like, oh no, I've been cursed. And then something else happens. Like say they get a little sick.
Yeah.
And it's because they're eating something. And then they move to a different part of the world. And
They
start
don't
eating
eat it
something
anymore.
else.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh,
I'm no longer cursed.
I'm no longer cursed. It stayed in my homeland.
It's like, dude, you had a tummy ache. You were eating dairy. You're intolerant. I wish we started using that today instead of saying like I have a dairy intolerance, being like I have curse of milk.
We can bring like that back.
We gotta start bringing that back.
I have the milk curse. Every time I eat milk, the tummy spirit comes and he reaps.
Yeah, he does. I love that. We gotta bring that back.
That'd be so good. I think there's everything now is like it's too technical. They need to bring back a little bit more of that mystical silliness. You know?
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it. The last thing is a little different. It's not an animal. I guess it is an animal.
People.
No, it's an egg.
Oh, we did. Yeah, we talked about this.
Century egg. Do you remember what the century egg is?
Yeah, it's like is it pickled or is it just left out for a long time?
It's cured.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cured for a long time. A really long time.
Yeah, and then turns black.
I think it was, I don't remember exactly how long it is.
It looks really gross. And I'm sure it's just like egg. Like, I'm sure it doesn't taste outwardly bad, but it's just like egg. Like a lot of egg.
Yeah, I mean.
Do you ever, I think I asked this last time, are you ever eating eggs and you're like, oh, this is so good. This is eggs. And then you're like, oh, this is eggs. You know what I'm saying?
You just eat enough of it and you're like, ooh. I mean, I don't really eat a lot of eggs. Just in general, but I know what you're talking about with like other food.
Especially if you're like at a diner and you're like,
diverse
I'm
palate.
Starving. Yeah.
You know, like if someone comes and gives me like, they're like, here's your meal. I mean, I love steak, but if it's like this is like a 64-ounce steak, I'm like,
where's the potatoes?
I know.
Where's the mash?
I need something to mix with
Where's
it.
the salad?
I'm gonna get like halfway through that steak and be like, this is still really good.
I'm having the
but
meat
it's like,
sweats right now.
It's like this is just the meat. Like
I think the best meal I've ever eaten in my life. This is something I want to ask you too, if you can think of it. The best meal you've ever eaten. I can pinpoint the date and what it was.
Yeah.
It was my first week in the field on the coast.
Okay.
And we all went out to Pelican Brewery because they had a IPA that the adults of age wanted to try that was called Silver Spot, which was the butterfly we were researching. And we went in, we got dinner. I ordered a bread bowl of their clam chowder with their house salad with their berry vinaigrette. I have never eaten so much food in my life and not felt gross.
Yeah.
I ate all of it because I had been in the field. I was starving. I was tired. Worked a lot. And I wasn't paying for it either. And it was the freshness and then the bread and then the clam chowder. Dude, clam chowder on the Oregon coast, unbeatable.
Soup is really good.
Soup.
Soup gets overlooked.
Me and Isaac are going to be a soup family. My mom, for my birthday, got me and him a recipe book of 200 soups and stews.
Oh, that sounds so good.
I'm stoked.
Especially bread bowls. Like,
oh, bread bowl.
Bread is just good by itself.
Bread makes you fat. Bread makes you fat? Scott Pilgrim?
Bread.
No? Okay.
No. You gotta bring something better
than that. You gotta bring
something
better than that.
Anyway, the century egg looks really gross. It's a little like glossy. Like
they ate it on Good Mythical Morning. So.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You talked about that.
They've eaten it multiple times on Good Mythical Morning.
Is there was it like a punishment?
Yeah, at one
point. They just like, oh, let's try it again. Maybe we've changed in age.
I think one of them was like, I don't remember. One of them was a punishment for sure, and then one of them was like, we're gonna try the egg.
I would never. I mean, I don't like eating eggs by themselves anyway. So if you gave me a century egg and you're like, this egg has been sitting for
it's duck. It's
long
not. I forgot.
time.
It's duck. It's not chicken.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Do you think you could make a century egg with other types of eggs?
It was exotic egg taste test is what they did.
Oh, can you imagine like an ostrich century egg?
Oh,
that thing
I've
would be
heard
huge.
ostrich eggs are kind of like tinny, kind of metallic tasting, which gross. Hey, disgusting. So that combined with that is probably
What do you mean? You don't
Wicked.
eat egg for the metal taste?
No,
No.
I don't eat cornflakes for the iron content.
Yeah, I just lick like an iron bar every morning.
Yeah. It's like a salt lick. You know how they have them tied up in the horse stall? It's a full-on iron bar. It's tied to my ceiling. I wake up every morning.
If you could, would you have like
A salt lick in my room?
no,
Yes.
no. Like every, you need a certain amount of
Vitamins,
vitamins,
minerals,
and metals and stuff.
Yeah.
If you could, like once, instead of having to worry about eating to get those
Right.
things, you could just take a pill. But it's
Hey,
like
that's called supplements, my guy.
no,
that exists.
but it's like it's exactly what you need. But it's like the size of an egg, and you have to take it like once a month, and it gives you all of the like your
I can
basic
cut
nutrients.
it up.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
don't
do
know.
it.
You have to eat it all in one go.
That's fine. I can cut it up
I don't know.
and just put it in my mouth and crunch it and swallow it.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah, I would.
I don't know. What if it was like a salt lick?
Yeah, I would. If there was a salt lamp in my room, it would start getting progressively smaller,
I
noticeably.
have 2 salt lamps in my house.
Have you noticed them getting smaller every time I've come over? You're not looking hard enough.
I'm like, guys, wait, where's Chloe? And I go in the other room, and you're just like, get away from the lamp.
Yeah. Oh man, what if this was a hypothetical that a friend of mine brought up a long time ago?
Yeah.
It's like, what if? It's not a hypothetical. It's just like what if scenario. What if instead of like greeting someone at the door like with a hug or like, can I take your jacket or whatever?
Yeah.
You open the door and they say, oh, good to see you. Welcome in, please. And then they hand out a salt lamp and you have to lick it before you come in.
What, like it's a greeting thing?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Everyone
Am I
has to
entering
do it.
alone?
You could be. You don't know. If you're entering in a group, everyone has to lick it.
I mean, how well do I know these people?
They're family friends.
Oh god. Is this like something they just started doing?
Yeah, it's not a normal thing. It's like not part of society.
I'm gonna have my salt lamp the next time you come over. And I'm gonna hold it up. I'm gonna
I
open
will.
the door and hold
If
it
you
out.
do that, I will lick it, and you know that I will.
I mean, if I was going there, like, yeah, you don't want to be rude.
It's like when you eat something gross at someone else's house to be nice, and you're like, ugh, and then, good.
Can you imagine? They hold it out, and you're like, oh, no, I think I'm all right. And then you try to step forward, and they just, like, hold up a hand. They're like, mm-mm.
Not until you've licked. Or like, no, I'm trying to cut back.
I'm trying to cut back on my salt
lamp
intake.
licking.
Yeah. Too much sodium. Sometimes I have that thought, like, there's so much sodium in everything now.
Oh, yeah.
It's awful.
Yeah.
But at the same
we know
time,
that. Chemistry, baby.
Like, you cut to me an hour later, and I'm dumping salt on everything
I
to
know.
eat it.
Oh, so much salt in everything. Hey, guess what? Salt my meat that I put on my salty nachos that have salty chips and cheese.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
God,
hungry.
I'm so hungry right now, too.
We should go somewhere.
That, like, brought it out in me.
Whoa. Hey. Something I want to talk about before we run out of time, because we have been tangenting, is bugs. Bugs for food.
Yeah.
So bugs are farmed for a
Mhm.
lot of different reasons. They are farmed for food. They are farmed for natural dyes, pharmaceuticals, reptile food. People farm live insects. But human grade crickets, mealworms, bugs are farmed like separately. There are different species, or like, yeah, there are different species of cricket or mealworm or whatever.
Yeah, you don't want to group them together.
Yeah. And then you can just eat them however. But crickets especially are like the thing to have when you're eating bugs. Because, so think of your average McDonald's burger.
Yeah.
You know, usually
Got it in
around
mind.
100 grams of beef, usually. So that 120/100 grams of beef is like 20 grams of protein,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's like 5%. No, not 5%. What is that? What's 20 divided by 100?
5?
Yeah, 5. Yeah. Listen, math is not my strong suit.
It's not mine either.
So for the same amount of serving of crickets, That's 60 grams of protein.
Wow.
So that is 3 times the amount of protein from the same serving size of crickets versus beef.
I just looked up how many grams of beef are in an Arby's roast beef sandwich.
A lot.
And it's only 23 grams of protein is what it like equates to.
It's like, so yeah,
Yeah.
that's about the same.
So I would have figured Arby's had so much.
They have the meats.
No, apparently not.
Apparently they don't.
That's
No, but
if that was the thing, if that was like, I'm not doubting it, but if they had more cricket availability here, dude, I'd be munching and crunching.
I know.
on
We
these
we talked
crickets.
about it. You can buy like cricket flour, like human grade cricket snacks. People are like really off put by them, so the only thing is like they're still really expensive
Yeah.
in this area. But
God, we gotta open a cricket farm.
crickets are the future, my guy. Are the future of food.
Well, what do you feed a cricket?
Just carrots and like grains and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
They don't eat like grass or something.
No.
I don't.
Maybe you've never thought of it,
Well,
but
no, I'm trying to think of like how would you make a
that also
a
impacts
grasshopper
the
farm
taste of the
or
cricket.
farm.
Lot of crickets in an area.
A lot of carrots.
Lot of carrots.
A lot of grain.
Yeah. Some water.
Some water. So,
Yeah.
give or take. No,
But no, we
we should start that.
Yeah, we should. Like,
Northwest bugs.
I work at a pet store, and by the way, hey, don't eat pet store crickets, okay? Pet store crickets, different species. They have, a lot of the times, they have parasites in them. Not harmful to most reptiles. They have strong enough stomachs, it doesn't bother them. But if you eat a cricket with a parasite, you're going to be hurting, my friend. So don't eat pet store crickets. But
Catch me in the pet store eating all the crickets.
I'm working. I turn around. I see you over there.
Taking handfuls of them.
Yeah. But we get boxes delivered weekly, like 7 boxes, 1,000 crickets each.
Yeah.
Just like
Just box crickets.
regular, and that's not a lot. You can get like so many crickets. I do wonder how the large scale facilities work.
Yeah. Do you order them? Or are you in charge of ordering?
Not myself,
ordering
no.
them? No.
No.
How do you know how? I mean, you've talked to like the people who do that though, right?
A little bit.
How much do they usually order at a time? Because if it's a box of 1,000,
Oh, it depends on what you're feeding. If you're like running like a huge reptile thing, you're probably getting like 2,000 crickets a week or something crazy. That's a lot of crickets.
can you imagine being the cricket farmer and you're selling your crickets and then you get an order and it's like 1 million crickets?
1 billion crickets. Oh no.
Oh no, I don't have that many crickets.
I mean it's a big industry.
Okay, so going back to your whole, McDonald's hamburger to
Yeah.
cricket thing, how much are we talking about like volume of crickets? Because like you said,
Volume? I said 100 grams.
yeah.
So you can shape that into a patty. You just grind them up and add some sort of holding meaty, what's that called? Well, hamburger is not just straight up meat. People mix it with other stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Where's
so
that going?
you need
And
a
you're gonna
bonding
mix your
medium.
your cricket patty with other things?
Yeah. It's like how veggie burgers need like a glue sort of thing.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I guess, yeah. Oh God, I don't know.
It's
I feel
seasoned.
I'm
It's
trying
not
to think
just straight
about.
up crickets.
I'm trying to think. You put all your salt on it. I'm trying to think
Yeah.
about like what the best way to eat that would be. Do you think you just like you ball them up and you like fucking dunk them in the deep fryer real quick?
Oh yeah.
Little cricket ball. God, that'd be so
Ooh.
gross after you bit into it though. Looking at it,
Well, don't look. Just don't look. Close your eyes.
just swallow it whole.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I don't know if I'd want to do that.
I love.
I would. I think
Yeah.
if bugs were a more like common thing, I would definitely like if they were more commonly sold.
And they weren't just like a gimmick. Like I had the
Well, yeah, eating a bug is like a parlor trick now.
yeah, from the mall, they in the pet store, or not the pet store, in the candy store, they sell those little scorpion lollipops.
Yeah.
Lollipop was awful.
Yeah.
I bought one. Lollipop was the most garbage, basic,
Well, you're
like
buying it for the scorpion.
yeah.
So,
So then I got to the
Nobody thought
scorpion
the lollipop.
and I ate it, and it tasted exactly and felt exactly like sunflower seeds. That's it.
Delicious.
It's not some crazy.
Was the tail cut off?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You can eat it though if it's been like cured or whatever.
How would you get rid of like the?
Take the poison out.
Yeah. God, I don't know. That's like one of my favorite things to think about is the people of ye older days trying things and then they eat it and they fall or they get really sick and someone's just like,
don't eat that one.
noted.
That happened a lot on the Oregon Trail.
Yeah.
People would be like, OMG, a patch of wild carrots, we're free. And then all of them would like seize and start just throwing up and dying.
And they're like, don't eat the carrots here.
They're bad.
They're cursed.
The curse of the carrot witch.
The curse of the carrot witch. Oh man. I would love to have I think that's what's so interesting about having other like colonizing other planets is because other than like the ocean and maybe the rainforest, there's not a lot of places where it's like true exploration.
Yeah.
You know? And so can you imagine being like one of the people like on that type of exploration? Like, I'm going to cross the world that we do not know anything about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would suck.
Yeah. I mean, it would suck, but it'd be a really, I guess if they're not thinking about it at the time.
Imagine
from
the
this
first
point of view, I'd be like, oh man,
yeah.
that'd be so cool because then you could look back on it and be like, what a cool trip. But then if you're like that person, you're like, I survived.
Yeah. Like imagine the first person to like see a moose. Awful, terrifying, scary. Never seen anything like it in your life.
Well,
it's like seeing a new enemy in a video game. It's like, what's that?
No, I know. But the when was it? I think it was like the 1800s is when the first Triceratops head was discovered.
Yeah, dude.
Can you imagine being that guy like digging it up and you're like, what is this?
That is like such a cool thing to think about.
That'd be really freaky.
Yeah.
It's like if the earth was actually hollow and people like
stuff in there.
Yeah, and someone dropped a big rope and they were like sliding down and they see the inverted area and they're like, oh no.
Oh no.
That'd be really cool.
Uppy down.
I always thought about that. There's a lot of movies and TV shows where the surface inverts once you get to a certain depth. It's like, okay, how does your body feel when like you go from walking that way and then it flips?
Yeah.
Like if you run and then you jump out of the hole, would you just fall back into the hole?
Yeah. That's a bummer.
That's a real bummer. I remember I asked my physics teacher in high school one time if there was a hole that went through the earth and you could survive the temperature, you know, and the change in pressure. I was like, what would happen? Like, how long would it take you to get from one side to the other?
Like if you were falling.
Yeah. And I don't remember what he told me as far as like how long it would. I think he said it would take like maybe an hour or so.
That's not bad.
Like a couple hours of falling. But then he said you'd be more worried about balancing out with gravity because you go down and then you get to the other side and
it's
you
like
start
this
slowing.
is not down anymore, but
yeah,
this
and
is
then you
up
start
now.
going back and then eventually you just get to the center.
Yeah.
And you're just in space.
Hate that thought.
Yeah. That kind of sucked.
Yep.
But
polar bears.
what about them?
You brought up bears earlier. This
I
is
did.
one thing that I wrote down that I wanted to really touch on was you talked about bears. Good eating for those who like it, you know.
Yes.
In some of the worst environments. And Antarctica, the Arctic, you know.
Frozen.
Not a great place to be if you're trying to survive. So
yeah, why'd they choose to live
exploring.
there? God,
not living, exploring.
What a bunch of idiots. Why would they go there?
Polar bears. I thought you meant people. No. So when you're in the Arctic and like exploring and stuff, your expedition, you're hard on food, you know, it's like, oh, polar bear, hunt it, eat it for food, right?
Yeah.
Seals, you can do that with too, and you like it's good. But a lot of the time, they're harder to catch because they go in water.
Yeah, they kind of slip away.
And they'll run away from you.
They have their little like ice. Well.
And polar bears, they eat the seals, so it's like, well, it's pretty much the next best thing. So chop it up, stew it. Ooh, yummy bear, you know. However, you can eat any part of the polar bear that you want, toes to nose. Do not eat the polar bear liver.
And why is that?
Well, let me explain. You'll die. So
He just took like all the
I know, I don't know
the
why
build up behind that.
So it will suck though.
Yeah.
Because
Before you die.
Because the polar bears eat a lot of fat because they're eating seals that have blubber. The tissue that builds up from the fat builds up in the liver and gets converted to vitamin A. So if you eat a polar bear liver, you will contract hypervitaminosis A, which is like an overdose of vitamin A. So you'll throw up, you'll feel sick, you'll feel bad. You know, it's like, oh, my tummy. I'm cursed by the polar bear.
This polar bear licked the vitamin A
Yeah, it's
lamp
like,
too
oh
much.
no.
He ate it.
But then your hair will start falling out.
Okay.
And then your skin will start peeling off.
Fantastic.
In big like fillets, like you're.
Is it like a sunburn?
No, it's not peeling like that. It's like sloughing
peeling a potato.
off. Yeah.
Ew.
Like radiation poisoning, like sloughing off.
I'd imagine you'd be dead before that.
No, you can live through a lot. And then you die.
Yeah, because you have no skin.
Yeah.
And you get infected probably.
Yeah.
Or you'd freeze because you're in the Arctic and you have no skin.
Yeah.